want to take a nap? First and foremost, I don't know if I've ever been more proud of a group of young people, the way they came out, and obviously with the circumstances, and you still had the remnants of Tiani's absence, and trying to reinvent ourselves into what we're going to be in a very short amount of time while you're playing top-notch opponents. So I can't be more proud of a group the way they came out. Obviously, the first couple minutes didn't go our way. We didn't execute, and then it took us a couple minutes to really catch the speed. Oklahoma does a tremendous job. They're the fastest team in the country. They get the ball up and down the floor. They have the most possessions. And it took us a little while to figure out that they were really going to be that aggressive. And then once we settled in, then it became a very physical basketball game. The way our kids just really were resilient throughout the whole basketball game. And so very excited, had tremendous performances. I thought Tony was great all night. Clara was tremendous, handling the physicality. Jordan was really big. We put the assignment of her guarding Beers so that Clara could kind of stay free and do some stuff on the offensive end. And then Jordan came up with huge rebounds down the stretch to give us extra possessions. So total team effort, very proud of them. I think they start class tomorrow. They'll have some rest for the next couple of days, and then we'll get ready for Florida on Thursday.
Okay, we'll start with Phoenix and then go to Carolina.
Coach, you talked about it, how like points tonight, they're just stuff that didn't go your way, stuff you control, stuff you can't control. Just, huddles, timeouts, what's your message through all that adversity?
Just stay the course. Jordan missed, 3, 4, 19, how many layups she missed in the game? and then she had a play, and I'll probably remember this for the rest of my life. She made a play right before the half, and clearly the ball was going out on them, and we would have got the last possession, and she hustled and tried to save it, and my body language was bad, because I was disappointed, and then when she looked at me, I was like, man, you can't fault the kid for their effort. And I think before I even went and talked to the coaches, I went in and talked to her, and I said, I'll never fault you for your effort. We just got to play smarter. And she was huge, huge for us. But I thought that during that stretch when we couldn't make a shot, and then when we made those threes, and as bad as we played, and you look up, we were only down 4. And so now we're back in it, and then we became very resilient. I thought our defense was tremendous in the second half. We held them to 23 points, I think it was. And to hold a high-powered offense like that to 23 points is really good, and I was very proud of them.
Coach, Tony looked pretty banged up in that fourth quarter, started crying at one point. Can you speak to your decision to keep her in the game?
She was mad. She was mad. And Tony and I, one of the beauties about our relationship is we're growing closer and closer every day. We meet all the time. We watch film together, and so we're on a crash course of getting to know each other, and we talk quite a bit throughout the basketball game. And at that end, I think I know what you're talking about. And she stayed down for a little bit. And we didn't come out there because they gave me the thumbs up. So I don't know what she said to them, but they turned around quickly and they were like, she's good. And so I believe them. But, we've talked about it too. She played a lot of minutes tonight. She won't do anything tomorrow. They won't do anything tomorrow. They won't do anything on Tuesday. And then we'll get ready on Wednesday for a good Florida team.
Brad and Connor.
This is for the girls, Jordan and Clara. Just talk about overcoming the physicality of the game tonight and hanging in and overcoming that out on the floor tonight.
Yeah, I think obviously Oklahoma's a physical team, but we're playing a physical league. I think we have to go in with the mindset to be ready for a battle every night, and then knowing we have to give it back. We can't just take it over and over again. We have to give it back, and then still using our strengths to our advantage, because obviously we're not as strong as some of them, but using what we have to our advantage is really how we got through that.
Also just leaning on each other and trusting each other that helps them to be there. That was a big part of it too.
I'll add to that. I was really proud of them because Tiani doesn't look like she's physically imposing, but Tiani helps us handle physicality and what she can do with her blink, and she case in point, she goes up, she gets, I think, 16 rebounds against LSU, all right? And in her absence, you know, we needed them to step up and be a little bit better version of themselves, and that's where I thought Clara did a tremendous job. Jordan was unbelievable, and I got to give credit to Amelia Hassett too. When Jordan went out, we made the decision to put Amelia on Beers, you know, so that Clara could continue to run free and help on some defensive stuff, but also so Clara would be even more fresh on the offensive end. And so it's a collective effort with handling the physicality, and yeah, that's the most physical basketball team in the country, in my estimation. Just the way that they set screens, the way that they do everything is extremely physical.
Coach, you talked about effort a lot. Probably one of the biggest sequences of the game, in my opinion, was fourth quarter. They got 3-4 offensive rebounds in a row. They didn't score off of them, but they were given effort, you know, kept Oklahoma from running something and wasted a lot of time. So what does that speak, just how they're able to kind of grind it out? Obviously, you want them to score, but the fact that they did that for so long, what does that just say?
Yeah, that was huge, you know, and there were a lot of possessions, you know, throughout the basketball game, key possessions. I think Tony had a huge block on Beers from behind. You know, the crowd really got into it. But did you get all the rebounds, all the offense rebounds in that possession? Yeah.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
And just giving us a second chance opportunities, because you know before you knew it, I looked up and, you know, and it was a minute to go, and it seemed like we started that possession and it was like 2 minutes to go, and so that was huge. It's just limiting their offensive possibilities and opportunities. So that was really big, and I thought, you know, the resiliency to fight through, and after we hadn't really been, our game plan, because they're so fast and getting the ball out, is we only sent 3 people to the boards. We wanted to make sure we had 2 people back. And so for us to really come through at the end and come up with those key rebounds was really big for us.
Phoenix, Caroline.
I know the shots didn't fall for it today, but I thought Asia Boone played really well, especially on the defensive end, trying to guard Leah Chavez, and they're really talented backcourt to speak to what she, and even Amelia, you know, shots haven't fallen, but you gave her a tough assignment, is what they brought.
Yeah, I think I told AB that she had the best 0-for-6 performance in the history of Kentucky women's basketball. But you know, those 2 charges that she drew, they were huge. They were momentum changers. It was really big. We needed her. She had 2 silly fouls in the first half, and it kind of limited her production, and it kind of put a lot of pressure on everyone else. But she's big. Her defense has gotten a lot better. She didn't hit any shots tonight for us, but you know, she was definitely felt on the defensive end. And then, like you said, Amelia, you know, we talked about Amelia. Watching Millie, you know, battle down there, and you know, she gives up a lot of size to a player like Beers. And the way that she performed, it was very gutsy, and I was very happy for her, because you know, if her shot's not falling, she can do more for us. And it might not show up in the stat sheet, but she came up with some loose balls and some. And she had a whole lot of rebounds, but she was tough in her performance.
Coach, 19 minutes for Kaylin Carroll today. Looked kind of like a breakout performance.
She looked like a second semester freshman, right?
She kind of did. What did you see from her?
Not that. And I mean, very proud of her, because you know, we know KK can make shots. You know, and she can help us on the offensive end. But where she really helped us the most was that, and I don't mean this in a bad way, that it's just freshmen. She was not a liability on defense. And she came out there, I think she contested Verholz's shot a couple times and made her take some tough shots. And we needed that, because I think Jordan got in foul trouble. But KK, she gave us a lift. And she's had a game, I think, where she had like 18 points or 20 points or something like that. This is by far her best overall performance to help us to win in a very meaningful game.
Noah, Alan Cutler, and then Connor.
Coach, just have a game like this where, you know, you were getting open looks, they just weren't falling, so you had to grind it out on defense. What does it say about this team that, like, even when the shots aren't falling, like, there's still a path towards victory?
We're tough. And I know, you know, the look of us is, you know, it might be finesse, but we're a resilient group. We're tough, and we can play that way. It's not fun, you know. We don't want to play that way. We want to get out and move and make it a very enjoyable game. But a game like this, and it's going to be several more games like opponents that we have to play. We've got to play like that, and we've proven that we can do it. This league is extremely tough, physical, but I think there's a lot of parity in this league. And I think Texas lost today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think whoever, I don't know about who's going to win it, but I think, you know, 2 through 7 might have 6, 7 losses, you know, and, you know, who knows, because there's just so much parity in this league. So you're gonna have to win tough games like that, and we proved that we can do it. And that's something that we did not have for 40 minutes at the Alabama game. And that was a lesson learned, and to be able to come back here and show we can do it that way, it's gonna go a long way for us.
Alan, Connor, if we have time, we'll end with Brad.
Just curious, is this the toughest game you all played? It was really physical out there, and is there an update on Keegan Rebel and when you hopefully might get her back?
Yeah, I mean, I think the LSU game was physical. Yeah, sometimes you think that it's unnecessary physicality, but that's not the way we choose to play, but we have to learn how to play that way. But like I said, I think this is the most physical team in the country. That's my estimation. It's the way they play. And that's their MO, and we understood that. We knew that going in. We played them twice last year, and it was the same thing. So we knew that. So, you know, we know we're going to have continue to have games like that and battle. And then as far as Tiani is concerned, she's progressing nicely, but it's still, we don't know what that means. And obviously we're going to try to protect her from herself, because she would love to be out here. But, you know, lot of good things came out of, you know, her visits to the doctor, and we'll just take it slow and see where she can come.
So you kind of said, you know, the Bama game was, you know, you had some lessons learned, and everybody can answer this, but what did you all learn from that game that kind of helped translate to this win?
Well, we have to dictate the tempo. I think we allowed Alabama to get into us, their physicality. We didn't have the strong mindset. A lot of it has to do with playing at home too. Crowd was great today. Got into it, got behind us, didn't give up on us, you know, early, and, you know, helped us get back into it. But if you're going to be, you know, a contender in this league, you have to win games on the road like we did at LSU, and you know, whole serve at home and still some on the road. And so, but you know, the Alabama game, we were out of sync the whole day. I don't know if she'll, you know, she better not go 1 for 13 again. But you know, we were still had opportunities. We just didn't capitalize on them. But you have to do that in this league.
We'll end with Brad.
Kind of to bounce off of that, and this could be for all of you. I mean, after a tough performance at Alabama, what was the importance of today bouncing back like you did?
I would say just staying true to ourselves, like knowing what we can do, knowing that like our game against Alabama, like that wasn't how we play, that's not how we want to play or how to look. So just knowing, like going back to what we do every day, relying on the things we do in practice and not trying to make any drastic changes just because we lost that one. Like, yeah, just staying with who we are.
Perfectly said.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll see you back here Thursday against Florida.